So like leading into Black Friday, how to set everything up and make the most out of the month, because it's going to be a weird month as a whole. And then Jonathan's going to kind of get into the nitty gritty of how we should actually establish campaigns and budgets and all of that good stuff. All right, so we're going to talk a little bit. We're both going to talk a little bit today. We're first going to cover, I'm going to cover like top line stuff. So like leading into Black Friday, how to set everything up and make the most out of the month, because it's going to be a weird month as a whole. And then Jonathan's going to kind of get into the nitty gritty of how we should actually establish campaigns and budgets and all of that good stuff. But before I do that, does anybody have any ideas, thoughts, questions, anything like that that we want to go over? Hey, Colby.
Oh, hey.
Hey, Colby. I think maybe just how does the funneling strategy works out with, like Black Friday? Do we only do Black Friday copy on the remarketing campaigns, or do we do it also on top of funnel? That's kind of like the main question I have.
Yeah, that's definitely, I would say, I'll let Jonathan probably talk about this a little bit later and go into more detail on it. But I would say when it's Black Friday, it's just all about getting every single sale possible. One of my notes is leveraging Advantage Plus, which I don't typically like to push too heavily. But during a promotional period like this, I don't think we care where the sales come from, whether it's a returning customer or a prospected customer or somebody who's visited the website 100 times in the last year. Just a matter of getting all the sales we can. First, I wanted to touch on, I guess, the first piece of what we should be setting up for Black Friday, Cyber Monday should be an email generation campaign, a lead gen campaign on Meta. And that is purely from an ROI standpoint, generating as much interest as we can right now, as efficiently as possible, and then letting them convert through email. And that would be, you're not going to get a ROAS from that, from the platform, but letting the client know in advance, like, hey, this is actually going to produce a really good ROI. You just need to know, like, I can give you all the information on how many leads were generated and how much money we spent on the campaign itself. And then you need to do your due diligence in the back end of Klaviyo or whatever email marketing service they use. But I think it's something that needs to be leveraged if the client has the ability to. It's just so strong. Every single year, it just seems to keep getting better and better. And right now, since we know that buying behavior is a little bit trained to the season or the promotion, we know that November itself is going to be a little bit strange when it comes to people actually purchasing for the first 3 quarters of the month. Because Black Friday is so late this year, we're going to have a really long runway, and it's going to lead to a decrease in sales probably week over week. So when it comes to how we're establishing like awareness throughout the majority of the month, I think it's a great idea to run an email generation campaign because you're getting something out of it. And I have, let me share my screen. This is a good example.
I like what you're saying. It's funny. I'm like not even, I come in here, I'm supposed to shut up, and now I'm just doing all talking. But I think I read this from Google, and they were saying the best time to start like prepping an audience is right now, because people aren't buying for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But if you can get them brand aware in the first 2 weeks, that's going to reduce your acquisition costs come Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and that's going to push them towards you. So it's always tough because sometimes clients just don't freaking get it. And they're like, well, I don't want my results to look bad in the first 2 weeks, but this will make your results better now if you do this. All right.
Yeah, exactly. John said something really good on Monday. He said, don't measure your KPIs right now. So don't say like, I spent X and I did not get a return of X. What you want to be saying is, I'm spending this now with the idea that it's going to return come Black Friday. You're not going to realize all of your sales potential until the sale is actually here because of that trained behavior. Every single year, Black Friday gets longer and longer. We know that. People are pushing it. I launched a Black Friday campaign for the first time ever in October. this year. October 31st was the day that it launched, which is just crazy. So we know that it's getting extended by the year. And here's a good example of a lead gen format that we actually launched this last year for the client. And they're basically reusing the exact same creative because we're going to be targeting cold audiences with this, but it's super simple. It doesn't take a lot on the client's end. Just a Black Friday, we know the promotion is going to be 50%. Here's early access to it, giving people the potential or the option to sign up now in order to receive early access. Super simple. And I find that typically you're going to see lower cost per clicks on these ads and typically lower CPMs, at least for Black Friday specific campaigns. Just a little bit of anecdotal info there. Yeah, that was kind of the first thing I wanted to talk about. And then budget structure, again, something that John talked about on Monday, which is like a really important piece of all of this, is whatever your buying cycle is, you should pair that with how you scale the budget. So let's say, for example, that your buying cycle is approximately a week. It takes about a week for somebody to purchase your products after being aware of your brand. We should start scaling budget a week before the promo drops. That way they're primed come the promotion to actually be making that purchase on time. And then throughout the course of the duration of your promo. And then in terms of scaling budget, that needs to be handled delicately. I would say there's some accounts that can handle, you know, a doubling of a budget in the day, if not more than that. So I guess it's a little bit of knowing your account, whether or not it can handle that. But to play it safe, increasing your budget until you know for sure if your account can handle this or not, I would say 50% of your budget per day is a reasonable amount to scale at a time. So just pre-planning that. So say you're going to increase your budget a week in advance, maybe start it 8 days in advance. So then the 7th day, you're in the middle of a scaling protocol, and then you can increase it from there. Yeah, I think that's probably a pretty smart way to go about it, just at least to play it safe. I'm always extremely cautious when it comes to Black Friday. There's been horror stories said around the water cooler of like people that get their ad accounts disabled a week before Black Friday, or they lose access, or they pump their budget too high and it kills their account for whatever reason. All of those things can happen, and it could be devastating to a business. So just playing it as safe as possible. If you have restrictions right now, or rejected ads, probably just steer clear of requesting a review. Don't push it too hard from Meta. You just don't want to be on their bad side right now. You want to do everything you can to be as cautious as possible. And then the other last note I've got really is the note of Advantage Plus. I kind of started off with this, but I would say leveraging that campaign format right now come Black Friday is incredibly important, because again, we don't really care where the sales are coming from. If it's a returning purchaser, we're just as happy about that as we are about somebody who's a brand new first time purchaser. So Advantage Plus might retarget more often than it does prospect. But again, I don't think we care where that sale comes from right now, and leveraging all avenues is the most important way to go about it.
Yeah. In my experience, on Meta, on Black Friday, the big lift of the sale is usually people that are aware, of the brand and the existing customer. So I would, hit those people as hard as possible. During the regular time of the day, we don't want to having too much frequency, but during those time, we really want to capture those, because these are the ones. So that's a good reason why, to do a teaser, either to get signups. I think that's a great way to just kind of be the first to know, like don't miss it kind of thing, or have exclusive offer towards email. But it could also be just a teaser without any, signups, just letting them know, our biggest sale of the year is coming soon. I know some big brands go offline like a few days and they shut down their website, and then boom, it's opening back up. So yeah, I would tend to go towards that. And on the creative side, I think it's important to mention, Black Friday sale is on now when it's live. Biggest, best price ever, biggest sale of the year, or stuff like that. So people know they'll miss out on the best deal they can get if they don't. So really, scarcity is really a big thing there to push. So I would encourage all the formats, so videos, images, stories. There could also be just dynamic catalog with ad copy that mentioned the Black Friday. And if clients ask you what kind of promos to do, I would recommend to keep it simple, like 25% site-wide. Some do like tiers and buy one get one free and all that stuff, which is cool, but I feel like sometimes the client might not understand it. Instead of having something simple with a big banner, on top of the website that flashes or a pop-up, the more we can emphasize it, the Black Friday best price ever, I think that's the way to go. In terms of budget, I think if you can save some, while you run the teaser, sometimes decrease a little bit, because the people that know the brand will probably just hold off, if they know like the sale is coming. So you can save a little bit of budget for the first, the weeks prior, and then when it hits, I would say like 3x the budget or something like that. I would recommend keeping some evergreen creative there, just so when the sale ends, you're not kind of naked and see like a big drop. So if you have some evergreen sale, they'll just perform much better, because on the website it should be branded Black Friday. So when the sale ends, those can keep working. So that way you don't have like a major drop. I mean, of course you'll have a drop, but not a significant one. You can kind of fight it that way. So that's a big, Black Friday is sometimes it's half of the revenue of a company. So I would recommend to putting all the effort you can into it. In terms of prospecting, of course, I would encourage to do it. But I know some brands that just want to do their warm audience and their existing customer, which I don't agree with. I think you should take advantage of it to get new customers as well. But I think focusing on lookalikes and your best interests, of course, that's a great way to go. Any thoughts or question from what I just said?
I've got one. I just
go
for it.
Sorry, for Nick and John. So evergreen sales for a company. Let's say I've got a company and they do evergreen sales. They're old school. They never want to update anything or do anything. Do I just need to convince them to frame this sale as Black Friday, Cyber Monday, and then it just kind of switches? Because you see that often. It just feels so disingenuous, but I feel like that's my only option.
Yeah, it is a bit disingenuous, and the people that are frequent, interact frequently with the brand will know it. But for the acquisition, the new customers, it's the way to grow a business. So yeah, if they're always on sale, I would recommend to maybe bump it up, 5-10% more, and put Black Friday.
Yeah. The thing is, they really struggle with retention, and like they don't have a product that can they can't repeat sales as much, and so I think that's why they just pump the sale. But okay, I've got some thoughts that I'm stealing from you guys. Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I would recommend doing it and starting as early as possible, because some competitor might start earlier and they might spend their budget. They might spend their budget towards the competitor, or but I know like some people it's maybe harder in the recent times in terms of disposable income. So if their budget is gone, or they just have a smaller one, sometimes it's you will get less from it or less orders. So I would encourage brands to start early. Some brands start at November 1st and or I know like car companies on TV or on radio, they say, oh, we're Black Friday all November. But I know it's not the best case scenario for all. But you know, just the Black Friday now is fine to set live on your website if that fits your brand. Yep.
Yeah. I had a question and I'm trying to think of it now. Oh, I found it. So I think I know the answer to this, but I want your opinion, and I think it's good for people to know. For evergreen creatives, I've had clients ask me in the past, can we just update the ad copy on the evergreen and then revert it back post Black Friday? Is that going to have an effect on its optimization for Black Friday and then post Black Friday as well?
Yeah. So I know there's a new feature on Meta that you can, you know, update the ad copy a little bit. So if the clients want to have Black Friday, don't want evergreen, I think you kind of have to do that. But I'd recommend just keeping the evergreen, you know, with lots of engagement on, just so it smooths, you know, it's gonna keep working, because sometimes when you update creatives, I mean, the brands that have a lot of data, a lot of value, you know, it's usually easier to get something new off the ground. But some that are struggling, I would tend to be more on the cautious side and keep the evergreen without modifying anything, just so they keep their optimization, you know.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
Yeah, I think that makes sense for sure. And then after Black Friday, if you're reverting that copy back to the evergreen style, then you're only going to see another piece of optimization, which kind of defeats the whole purpose of running evergreen throughout the sale to begin with.
Exactly. And you know, you could use also the post ID if you switch back up to keep the engagement. So that's a good strategy too. Yep. And yeah, I guess too on the website, I had a quick note. It's sometimes that people will just you know, add some free stuff, or you know, just spice it up. You know, put a free sticker or a free mug or free T-shirt or something like that. And sometimes too, people will do some daily drops on top. So some 25% site wide. They'll do like you know, new products drop. I think that's a great time to do those. So you have both the 25% site wide plus you get the new drops or the new products. That's a great time to launch and pair that with Black Friday. And yeah, you can also put some upsells, you know, post purchase that are just Black Friday themes. Say, you know, this offer is only for Black Friday because you purchased the X. Now you can get a second one at 50% off or whatever that is, or complementary products cheaper that it would be. I think that's a good way to frame it, to say that it's exclusive and it's only going to last a week or how long the promo is.
I was gonna start.
I'll tell you what, Osama. I'll wear a beanie and the wig. How's that sound?
I like it. You'll have like the long hair flowing out of the beanie, and you'll have like the hair on top like this.
And that, everyone, is the introduction to our inaugural